Hi guys, thank you and welcome back to my channel. It is almost Christmas and I feel like I haven't done a makeup tutorial for quite a while. But today we're gonna do this makeup look right here, and I call this makeup look Fresh Like Christmas Morning. Or as I say it, what makeup? And it is the perfect makeup look for Christmas morning, opening a present with family and making sure you're the cute one in the family photo for Christmas. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So if you happen to like this makeup look, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel right down below. Also, don't forget that I post on YouTube every single Wednesday and on IGTV every single Friday. And follow me on all my social media at bella.c.snow. Okay, let's get this makeup started. Cheers. Okay, so to start this makeup look, I'm just gonna go in with the OG. I'm gonna use the MAC Strobe Light Primer. So this one is in Gold. And I love this one because it is a great hydrating primer. It's not as hydrating as the Ole Henderson Banana Bright, but it's gonna give you enough hydration for your foundations. Also gonna give you that little glow. I believe they come in like a different color tone. I'm using the gold one because I have a little bit more golden undertone, so that I feel like that's gonna match my skin a little bit more better. I also like the pink one too, because that's gonna give your skin a little bit more brighter looking too, and it's also smell really good. And now moving on to foundation, I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundations, and this one is number 6. I'm going to mix it with the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder number 6, also in medium. I like to mix these two combinations because the Light Wonder alone might be a little bit too matte. This is going to give you a little bit more glow and a little bit more hydrating since I have more like a drier skin. So I like to combine these two together to make the perfect formulations. And I'm almost out of this one, so I'm just gonna have to go buy a new one. Oh, and I also got some KKW lip set right here, so we're gonna try this on a little bit more later for the lips. Also, I can't wait to try on the formulation. I never tried her like cosmetics before. So for foundation, I'm gonna go in with the Sephora number 55 brush. As foundation brush, this is more like an airbrush. Foundation brush. It's going to give you more like a lighter coverage. This makeup look is more like barely there makeup. It doesn't have to be a full makeup. You can use more like full coverage makeup, but I feel like early morning Christmas you don't need like a full cake face for it, so I'm just going to use a really light makeup foundations for it. So after using the brush, I like to go in with the beauty blender, just gonna bounce it in just to make sure my skin is a little bit more even and make sure that I shear out all the makeup, all the foundations evenly. And after that, I'm gonna go in with the Becca under eye brightener right here. So what this does is have a little bit more like a pink tone, so it's gonna help neutralize your darker under eye. So now I'm just going to go in with the beauty blender, press a little bit in with the Becca under eye brightening corrector. The color I'm using is in light medium, and I believe they have more like a deeper color right now for a darker skin tone. So I'm just going to press a little bit of that under my eyes. If you look at it, it has a little bit more pinker tone, so it's going to help lightening and brightening all your like dark spot, because the under eye is more like a purple tone. I feel like it is, if you have more like darker under eye, using more like an orange corrector could be perfect. But for me, I feel like I'm just going to use more like a pink tone to help brightening, and that would be fine. You can see the difference between the two sides. So this side I have the Becca under eye brightening, and this one I don't. So this one definitely under eye is a little bit more brighter, gonna help cancel out all the dark under eye. And this one I still have a little bit under eye, and now I'm just gonna go in and apply the Becca under eye brightener to slowly lift that darkness. After that, I'm just gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and the color I'm using is in number 4. So I'm just gonna use this wherever I want more like a glow. Right on top of my cheek and a little bit on my forehead, and sometimes I put a little bit on my chin also. And then with a beauty blender, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out. You can also put this all over your face also, but I feel like you might look a little bit too glossy if you put that one all over. So majority I'm just going to focus this on the top of my cheekbone and where I'm going to put my highlight on a little bit more later. And I still have a little bit left over of the foundation, so I'm just going to wipe the rest of it and put wherever I feel like I need a little bit more coverage, and that's majorly going to be on my cheek area. And after you feel like your foundation is even, I'm going to go in with a light cream contouring. I'm using the Huda Beauty Tantour contouring bronzing powder, and the color I'm using is in light. I feel like something about cream contouring that make your makeup a little bit more oomph in the photo. So if you happen to like taking flash photo, put a little bit more like a cream contouring. But if you don't, you're just gonna wear it like normally, fresh face every day, just gonna go ahead and put on bronzer afterwards. That would be fine too, and totally skip this step. But me, I'm just gonna go in with a light contouring around my forehead, also around my jawline, just a little bit. And for contouring, I'm just using a stipple brush to easily blend it out. I feel like the stipple brush is like the easiest thing to blend out cream contouring. And I have to switch out to a smaller mirror because I'm using the bigger mirror right here. It's kind of like too big for the frame, so it's kind of like blocking the lighting and everything, so I have to change to like a smaller one, but I still love using the other one for like every day. And again, you can totally skip this step if you don't like cream contouring. For me personally, I just feel like if I don't do cream contouring, because I have a little bit more like a flatter face, I would look like a pancakes. So I always have to go in more like a cream contouring. Now with a tiny brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of cream contouring to contour my nose. And with a clean brush, now with a clean synthetic brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend out all those cream contouring. And now with the beauty blender, just gonna go ahead and go in and make sure you tap and making sure that all the blending is all blending to your foundations, there's no harsh line. Especially around the nose area, where you do the nose contouring. You're doing this with a cream contouring. And I feel that I need a little bit of concealer under the eyes, and I'm just gonna go in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and the color I'm using is in Nude. So with that concealer, I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit right there, not a lot. And out here. And after you finish blending everything, and lately I like to go in with a cream blush while your foundations and everything is still wet. So the one I'm using is going to be more like a Stila cream blush right here, and the color I'm using is in Peony. Right there. It might look a little bit dark right now, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a beauty blender and also blend that out. And I feel like if you're using more like a cream blush while your foundation is still fresh, you practically push the blush to merge in with your foundations. For one, it's going to make your blush last a little bit more longer throughout the day, because we all know the blush formulation and the pigment in the blush is going to be the first one to like fade because it's not that strong. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the cream blush to make sure that I get that inner blushing glow. And now that everything is blended, I'm going to go in with a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Finish Flawless Finish powder, and the color I'm using is in number 2. I'm using a really light fluffy brush. This one is actually an e.l.f. blush brush that I use for practically everything. And just to make sure that you still have that glow, don't set your powder everywhere, don't set your whole face. I'm majority stay on my T-zone right here. Even though I have more drier skin, I use really light powder around on my under eye, the bridge of my nose, also my smile line and my chin area. I mostly stay away from over this area right here because later we're going to put on bronzer and that's going to set itself also, so you don't have to lay on so much powder. Yeah. Now to give back that glow again, I'm going to go in with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. The color I'm using is in Luminous Light. I'm using a fluffy brush right here, and this is also an elf brush. It's more like a powder brush, and I can't go do my makeup without this powder, so I'm just going to swirl it all over in there. And then dust a little bit off. I'm going to swipe that on my cheek area. What this is more like a finishing powder, or it has a slight glow to it, and I don't like to put this all over my face because I feel like you could look like a tin man if you overdo it. So majority I'm just gonna put wherever I want to have that glow, like when you smile and your cheek glow a little bit, so that's where I want to put it. So just a little swipe, and I also put on my eyes also. So after the highlight, I'm gonna go in with the Laura Mercier bronzer, and this is the Candle Glow, and the color I'm using is in number 4. I'm using another blush brush from e.l.f. I'm just gonna use that to apply my bronzer. And to apply my bronzer, I'm trying to stay away from like swiping bronzer because my foundation is still wet, so I want to more like still setting the foundation a little bit. So I'm just gonna use more like a stamping motions, I would say. So with bronzers, you just have to like stamp, stamp, stamp. My bronzers in there, I'm gonna go in with the Kemina Kwan contouring powder. I'm using the color in light. And with a small angle brush, I'm just gonna go in and lightly sharpen my nose contouring and also slightly set it a little bit more to give it a little bit more defined look. And after all that, I'm like to go in with like a little bit of highlights. I'm using the Bobbi Brown, the highlighter, and this one is called Pink Glow. I'm using the Huda brush. I'm just going to put in a little bit of highlight where I want it to glow. So as you can see, I'm using really thin layer, and I'm slowly building up all the intensity of the bronzer, highlight, and everything. So I don't like to put on like a whole bunch of color at once, and then it's so hard to blending out afterwards. So I'm just gonna slowly and building it up in layers. At this point, I also like to put in my highlight on my nose and on the bridge. Not a lot, just a little bit, so just have something to glow right there. And now with a clean, fluffy brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and go in and blend everything out. So again, I'm going in more like light tapping motion rather than a hard swiping, just making sure that I'm blending out on the bronzer, merge it into the highlighter, and making everything blend into one. And now with a small taper brush, this is a Sephora number 79 contouring brush, but I'm using this one to blending up my nose contouring. So what you do is you're just gonna go swipe upward, making sure all that line is blending out. You don't have like a too harsh line right down your nose. And after this, I usually like to go in with more like a rose water, or in this case, I'm just gonna go in with quick spray of the MAC Studio Fix Spray. And what this does is more like it's gonna slightly set your foundation and complexion and pull and clean out all the powder, the light powder that you have in your skin. Also, it's going to keep your skin a little bit more hydrated also. And that's practically my everyday complexions. If I have to go somewhere really quick, I'm just going to put the complexion on, curl my lashes, put on some mascara, put on some lip balm, and that's about it, and I'm out the door. And today we're going to do a light nude eyeshadow makeup look. It's not going to be a lot of makeup. on the eye also. So we're just gonna go in first to set the eyelid. So to set the eyelid, I'm just gonna go in with any powder. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix right here in C4. So I'm using the MAC Studio Fix with an angle brush just to dab on my eyelid to making sure my eyelid is all set. And it's not still sticky from the foundations or anything. So the palette we're gonna stick on today, actually somebody asked me to use this palette to do a makeup look, so we're gonna go in with the Beauty Bakerie palette, and the palette is called Proofs. It's in the pudding, and this is the color in the palette, so we're just gonna stick with this color right here for today. And the first color I'm gonna go in is practically always gonna go in with more like a neutral color. And the first color I'm gonna go in is called Nana Pudding. So with that color, I'm gonna go in with my finger and I'm gonna blend it all over my lid. And feel like this one is like a perfect color for my eyelids, match with my skin tone actually. And the reason why I'm doing that, because usually I don't use eye primer because I feel like it's too much. So I'm just gonna use like a neutral color to neutral every single thing on my eyelid. And now the first color I'm gonna go in is called Bread Pudding. It is another neutral color. So with that color, I'm gonna go in and right on the edge of my eyes to define where my creases. And since I don't have a lot of crease space, I'm gonna go in and define my socket line. So if you look back and point it right there, you can feel your socket, and that's usually where I put my transition color, I think they call it. And again, I'm not going to use a lot of color in it. I mean a lot of color when I blend. I'm going to blend in really light and start building up the color. And I also like to bring the color all the way into inside my bridge also, so because I feel like it's going to bring your eye a little bit more closer. And I love using my finger to blend everything out and upward. And with that same color Bread Pudding and small angle brush, I'm gonna go in and do the same thing and saturate my bottom lash line. This color I'm gonna dip in is called Mango Pudding. This is a little bit more like a orangey clay color. So with that color, I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp on my outer corner of my eyes, and also go ahead and swoop into my crease. And I love that color Mango Pudding because it's going to give you a little bit more like a burnt eye color, and it's not so dark. It's going to be a perfect fall color. So it's more like a transition from fall into winter. And I always keep another fluffy brush around, clean fluffy brush, just to make sure to go in and blend everything out. And I believe I used this palette like once, and I was surprised how decently it is. It doesn't have a lot of pigment, which I kind of like because you can then build up all the colors slowly and don't have to like slap in so much color and try to blend it out. Everything is really light and blendable. After you blend it, the next color I'm going to go in with my finger again. It's going to be the color Butterscotch. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and press in. It's kind of like cut crease, but not really. I'm going to put in like the inner half of my eyes to bring out the light and the shimmer. Whatever is left from that fluffy brush, just going to go in and blend it inward. Just blend everything together. And then another color I want to try on this palette is actually Almond Jelly. And again, I'm going to go in with my finger. I feel like any color with more like a metallic or more like a shimmer, I like to use with my finger to press everything in because it's going to give you a little bit more pigment. So with the color Almond Jelly, I'm going to go in and press right on the color, right on the center, right between when I put Butterscotch and Mango Pudding. So with that, it's going to create more like a gradient color. It's going to be a darker color on the outside. This like more orangey peachy color into a lighter color. It's more like what do you call it? A blossom flower petal. And again with a fluffy brush, just to go in and blend everything out. And now I'm just going to go into tightline it really quick. I'm going to go in with the color Warm Cacao. And with an angle brush right here, I'm just going to go in with the color Warm Cacao to tightline. And to tightline, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp really close to my crease. And with this, it's just going to keep your lash look a little bit more fuller. And after tightlining, I feel like I'm not going to go in and put wing liner because I feel like that's going to make it a little bit too glam, and I'm trying to make it as neutral as possible. So we're not going to go in and put on a wing liner. You can do that one if you like to have a wing liner, but I'm just going to skip wing liner. And right now I'm just going to go ahead and go off camera and put on my brows and my contacts, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I am back with my brows done. I also put on my contacts, and I did go ahead and put on lashes, and for some reason I slapped on the biggest lash I have. Actually, I already have like big lashes right now, so you don't have to put on a lash for this makeup look. If you want to be all natural, I just put on a lash just because we're going to do a photo, so this is going to look a little bit more better on photos. And the lashes I'm actually using is from Eden Rose, and the lashes I'm using on my eye is called Heartbreaker. And now we're just gonna go ahead and move on to lips. And I'm excited about putting on the lips because I went ahead and bought a whole bunch of like KKW Beauty lip kit. This is all the lip liner, and this is, I believe, is the whole Nude lipsticks. So we're not going to do like swatching all the color today because I don't want to do another like unboxing and swatching. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a color from this one, and we're going to apply them to my lips. Which color what do you think I should use? Before I'm putting on the lip liner, I'm going to go ahead and color in my Cubist bow with a highlighter, and the highlighter I'm just going to jump back to the Bobbi Brown highlighter right here. And this lashes is so big, it's crazy, it's insane. So I never tried the KKW Beauty lip liner before, so here is the box right here. It's all like nude and neutral, and once you pull it out, right here, and this is the KK Beauty lip liner, and this color is Nude 1.5, I believe. It is pretty cheap and decent for a lip liner. Honestly, I thought this is gonna be a little bit more longer because this is all the length, like the full length right here, compared to like a Morphe lip liner that is much longer. So again, I never tried the KKW Beauty like anything, so this is gonna be my first try on her lips. And so far it is really creamy, and because I'm more like a nude bitch, so I grabbed like all the nude color in there. So I always line my whole lip with the lip liner, and then I'm gonna put on the lipstick on top. And this color is Nude 1.5. There's another color in like MAC Stripped Down or something like that, but this is like more warmer than Stripped Down. Stripped Down for MAC is a little bit more gray, but this one I feel is a little bit more, it's just like two-tone redder than Stripped Down. The formulation is really creamy. I wish this thing was a little bit more longer, but so far I love this lip liner. Yeah, so chic. So this is the lip set right here from the KKW Beauty. This is the best of Nude lipstick set, and when you slide it down, it is like this. Ooh. Actually, the other sign is of KKW Beauty, and this one is so clean and neutral. And you open the package right here. Try not to drop all of it. So when you open this package right here, each bullet coming in like a case right here. So when you slip one out, there'll be like this right here, and this is the Nude number 2. Such a good color. So now I'm just gonna go in with the KKW number 2 nude lipstick. Definitely a nude. Now I just like to use my finger and just help blend out the lipstick into the lip liner. So far I kind of like it, and I feel like the new lipstick lip liner does oxidize slowly, slightly darker as you go for some reason. Or is it just me? I'm gonna go ahead and put on Nude 1, like the lightest nude color right here on top to see if it's gonna get lighter. That might be too light. Never mind. Let's just stick with Nude 2. That might be too light for me right now, so now I'm just gonna blend everything up. But on first try, I think this one is really good one. The formulation is really creamy, the color is definitely nude, and the combination with the lipstick and the lip liner is the perfect combinations. And yeah, I think I love it. I'm gonna order a whole bunch more to try on. I wanna order the whole set, but yeah. So the blush we're using today is actually from Patrick Ta right here, and the color I'm using is called She's Seductive. So She's Seductive is actually like the darkest color from all his 4 blushes. And I got this like a few days ago and I did try it. The only thing with this blush right here is I feel like it's pressed a little bit too hard. There's not a lot of pigment coming out of this one, even though She's Seductive is like the darkest from all the blush shade from Patrick Ta. So it's coming on really light, so you have to really like building it up. So I feel like if this is gonna be like the darkest shade from the collections of Patrick Ta blush, I wonder what is the rest of like the lighter color gonna come out to, because this doesn't have a lot of pigment to it. And I love Patrick Ta, but I'm not sure the blush was really good from the collections. Okay guys, so this is the final makeup look for this week, fresh like Christmas morning. This is the perfect makeup look for you to wake up to every Christmas, opening up present and be around the family and making sure you're the cutest one in all the photos. Let me know if you like this makeup look. Leave me a comment right down below, and while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on all my social media at bella.c.no. Oh, and don't forget to ring the bell right here for notification of next week's video, which is my birthday week. I finally turning 25 again. Anyway, so I post every single Wednesday and on my IGTV every single Friday. Let me know what you're doing for Christmas and what you want for Christmas. Okay, until next week, bye bye.